In this series, you learn about a mechanical puppet created in the image of the best warrior of yesteryear. Tanjiro will have to defeat it to prove and improve his abilities. Will he be able to surpass the real Hashiro, or will he have to give up? We're about to find out. The argument between Hashiro and the boy continued. And it was active enough that neither of them backed down from their positions. Hashiro demanded something from the boy, but the boy in turn would not give it to him. Tanjiro must reason with them. Before he could act, the conflict escalated to a new level. Hashiro punched the boy right in the face, with such force that he fell to the ground. Now for sure Tanjiro couldn't stand still. He rushed out of the bushes to prevent trouble. Hashiro grabbed the child by the collar, trying to loosen his grip. The hunter was unsuccessful. Sensible words had no effect either. They only made the older man even angrier. So he swung away from Tanjiro, punching him in the stomach. He had his instincts, and sensed that the boy had a demon in his box. What will you choose? Ignore, go to school or work? Liking and subscribing to watch anime all day. But he wouldn't let him even touch his sister. Taking advantage of the distraction, the boy broke free of Hashiro's grasp. Tanjiro immediately tried to calm him down, but all he clamored for was that he wouldn't give his key to anyone. He's ready for any torture and anything he has to endure, but he definitely won't give the key back. It's too precious to him. Hashiro decided to intimidate the little boy. It seems that this key opens some kind of thing, which is quite fragile, because the boy said that it might break. What is the talk between these two, and why is this thing and this key so valuable? Then the elder Hashiro told him that his time is much more valuable than that of ordinary people. Because while he's wasting his time on idle chatter, somewhere people are dying from demons. And some blacksmiths out there aren't really important, all they know how to do is make weapons. If it weren't for the hunters, they would have all died a long time ago. Tanjiro had been patient for a long time, but here his patience snapped. He could no longer stand such insolence, so he stopped this vainglorious speech. He decided to give his opinion on the Hashiro's views on this world. Of course, yes, it is true that Hashiro's time is very valuable, and he really does kill demons and save people. But the blacksmith's work is just as important to this world. After all, if it weren't for them, then the hunters would simply have nothing to fight for. Everyone is important in this war, and no one is better or worse than another. Everyone should support each other and help each other, not measure each other's status. That all sounds great, but Hashiro was really in a hurry, so he just knocked Tanjiro out. After a while, the guy woke up and almost found his blacksmith beside him. But he escaped into the woods just in time. He preferred to be unnoticed. The boy did not surrender his appearance, so he managed to escape. And the same Hashiro took the key from the boy and left. After the boy thanked the boy for his help, they talked about what the key was all about. There was also a man standing nearby, or what was it? It turns out that this key belonged to the boy for a reason. It allows you to activate a mechanical doll that has been passed down in the boy's family from generation to generation. It's not an ordinary doll, but a fighting doll, like a simulator. It can be used to practice various combat tactics. But even so, it can easily break, and that would be better avoided. A family tradition has to be upheld. It so happened that the boy did not become a talented blacksmith and could not become an excellent hunter, and he is not particularly good at puppets. So if something happened to this doll and it suddenly broke, it would be impossible to repair it. Because it's designed in a special way, it was created many years ago in the image of one of the most dangerous demon hunters. He was so fast and powerful that only a mechanical puppet with 6 arms would be able to recreate all of his blows. The boys decided to watch Hashiro practice. He was incredibly dodgy. The puppet was standing with real swords, so one move and it could easily kill the hunter. But he didn't seem to be frightened at all, on the contrary, he was confident. He was precise in his movements and easily sidestepped the doll's blows. Suddenly, some annoying crow appeared near the bushes. It explained to the boys that this Hashiro was not just some passerby, but a true descendant of the owner of Sun Breath. There also shared that he had seen this warrior portrayed in a doll in his dream. Crow only laughed at this theory. But the boys supported her. He said that perhaps the hunter is a descendant of this warrior. Because not only physical abilities are passed down from generation to generation, but also memories. When the boys saw that the hunter had almost broken his doll, he was completely distraught. Some apathy and depression came over him, but Tanjiro was able to support him and give him faith. He told him his story and supported the boy. He would surely cope and improve his skills. If not him, then his children, grandchildren or other descendants would surely achieve mastery. Meanwhile, Hashiro had already finished his training. The doll was in terrible condition. It would probably never be repaired again. But wait a minute, maybe it's worth a try. At least try to start her up, and here's a couple of moves. All done, she's intact and can function. The boy was very inspired by Tanjiro's words, so he decided to support him in his turn, too. Now he knew what they were fighting for, so he was willing to sacrifice his doll for a good cause. He suggested that the hunter practice with this dummy. For now, of course, on sticks, not real swords, because it is too dangerous. But things would surely come to pass. The first attempts were not themselves unsuccessful. The puppet knocked the hunter off his feet in no time. We must somehow influence Tanjiro's motivation to want to become stronger. With no experience in life, the boy decided to become a personal trainer for the hunter. And he couldn't think of anything better to do than to deprive him of some benefits to fight for something. So he decided to eliminate water, food, and sleep from the boy's life. Maybe if he was deprived of some basic things, then he would start fighting in earnest. The boy's words were not empty promises. Day after day, practice after practice went by, but Tanjiro still could not defeat his opponent. He was too strong for him. 6 arms was too much. Then after 5 days the guy told him that the next training session would be with real swords, and if he couldn't do it now, he would have to die. Without food and water, the hunter's body weakened completely, but with that, he switched to some kind of ultra mode and elevated his consciousness. Something incredible happened. It was as if Tanjiro died for a second and gained some new flair. It was different from his strings. He was tracking, he could smell the movements and understand where they were directed. So he quickly anticipated every punch from the puppet and was able to dodge it. For the first time in all his training, he was able to touch the dummy. That was a huge step. It was a real breakthrough. In honor of such an event, the cruel trainer took pity on the boy and finally fed him. After mastering his new technique, Tanjiro began to fight much better. He now understood how to act and even had some tactics worked out. And so in another training session, dodging all the blows, he managed to blow the doll's head off. Despite the fact that he destroyed it most likely forever, the boy was as happy as a hunter. But what is it inside? There is something inside the doll. There's definitely something sticking out there. The boys looked closely and realized it was a sword. Since when has it been inside this doll? No one had ever cut it open before. No one had seen it since the time this mannequin was created. Since it was Tanjiro who defeated the dummy, he must be the one to draw the sword from its sheath.